I once spent an entire afternoon reorganizing my Lightroom catalog instead of texting back my friends.
Most of us are taught to downplay how much we want or need others. It feels really sad to say out loud, I am lonely. But here's the truth. We are deeply social creatures, and as hobbyist photographers, many of us spend a lot of time working alone. That's why I want to talk about how I found and built my photography friendships. All of them are long distance, and yet all of them are intentional. That means they don't happen out of convenience. They're built deliberately with planning, effort, and care. Because once you find people who share this love of taking photos, it changes everything. In this video, I'll go over how I've made a photo walk connection into a friend and how I've kept those friendships alive. Let's get into it. What makes a person you've just met into a friend? I've been on a ton of photo walks and photography related parties, and I've learned that simply attending a photo walk won't make you friends. It's what you do with those connections during and after that matters. While you're on a photo walk, instead of only talking about gear, I found it better to ask questions that reveal more about the person. What do you enjoy photographing? How did you get started in photography? Tell me about the last trip you went on and what did you enjoy shooting? These questions cut past the surface level talk and open the door to connection. In my earlier days of attending photo walks, I noticed that at the end of every photo walk, I just gather a bunch of mutual followers and nothing much really happened after that. So that's when I learned the art of the follow-up. Pick one or two people you really connected with and set up a smaller photo walk or meetup afterward. The way I see it, one real friendship is worth more than a few hundred casual followers. The real secret isn't just finding and making photography friends. It's keeping them.
Friendship is like a plant. You have to water it and give it sun in order for it to thrive. Otherwise, it will die.
After finding the friends, you have to cultivate the connection. Creating something together is the quickest way to deepen a friendship. It gives you a shared mission. For example, my friend Tom, I asked him to help me take photos of me standing in front of some places that my dad stood 50 years ago.
Give it your best shot. Hey, love that. Unfortunately, we have no avian guest star. That would have been great. Oh yeah, wonderful. Okay, got it.
And I truly believe that project brought us closer together. And at the end of each day of shooting, we rewarded ourselves with a trip to London's oldest pubs, and we even made that a project. I made a little passport for him to track every old pub in London, and it was so much fun to do. And I don't think you're too old to go on scavenger hunts together.
We turned day drinking into a heritage exploratory project, and somehow that sounds more respectable.
Spaniards in. Spaniards out.
No one gonna fight for you. Nothing else that I can do.
If you're like me and you live in the middle of nowhere, the good news is you can still maintain connections long distance.
Some of the things we like to do are edit exchanges and offline print swaps. Edit exchanges are basically trading raw files and challenging each other to edit them with our own spin. You can do it on your own time and send it back within a week, or sometimes we schedule it to do it live over Zoom. It's not learning about how to edit better. It's about seeing through each other's eyes and building understanding through a highly personal process.
Fix your hair.
There's not much that can be fixed like that.
Another thing I recently did with my long distance friends is offline print exchanges. And basically it's mailing prints and zines to my friends overseas. Every other month I send my friends a small batch of prints in the mail, and the following month they send me theirs. I like to sit with them over a cup of coffee, write down my thoughts, and it's basically a slow, intentional, and deeply connective, handmade, distraction-free Instagram. Instead of hearting or liking a photo, you really have to take your time to look at the photos and write down exactly what you notice or observe or like about the photo. So it's much slower and much more meaningful than a comment. And you're probably thinking like, who has the time for this? But you'd be surprised how many people would actually participate if you just ask.
Yes, it sounds extra, and yes, my local post office lady knows me by first name basis.
The common theme here is scope. Friendships need a shape, and you give it that shape through projects, exchanges, deliberate, structured collaborations, and shared plans. It grows beyond just casual acquaintance. Sometimes it's as simple as saying, hey, I've got an idea, and do you want to do it with me? Of course, putting yourself out there carries risk. Sharing your art, reaching out to someone, asking if they want to collaborate, it all opens you up to rejection. And rejection is hard. It's uncomfortable. But rejection is just redirection. It teaches you who your people are and who they aren't. The way I see it is, rejection is the price you pay for potential connection. Every friendship starts with a gamble, and most of the time, it's worth it.
The next station is Spadina. Spadina Station.
I know most of us have busy lives, but that doesn't mean we don't deserve meaningful connections. Sometimes it's just sending a message to say, I thought of you when I saw this. Photography is personal, but it doesn't have to be solitary. When you share the process of making art with people who get it, it becomes so much more. It becomes a shared anchor. Some of my most meaningful moments in photography weren't even about the pictures themselves, but in noticing the same things, or in helping each other notice completely different things. Those small shared moments stick with you far longer than a single image.
One thing I want to say is that finding your people, your photography girl gang, is going to take time. It's going to take a lot of, pardon my choice of words, kissing a lot of frogs before you find your prince, or in my case, princess. I feel like I spent probably 2 years looking for the friends that I always wanted and always needed in my life. In general, it doesn't have to be even about photography. Making friends in later life is just hard. The one thing I want to say is to be patient and to not expect it to be something that happens overnight. While things like chemistry and spark are really important to determine if this is a person you even want to keep talking to, friendships really do take time and effort and thoughtfulness. But I think once you finally find the group or people or person that speaks your language and almost reads your mind, it is such an amazing feeling, and I really hope that you don't give up. It's kind of like street photography. Sometimes you get the shot, and then sometimes you don't, and sometimes someone yells at you for pointing your camera at their dog.
If you're craving connection through photography, you're not alone. But you don't have to wait for serendipity. You can take intentional, thoughtful steps to find the people who will see you. Because photography friendships aren't about exchanging likes and comments on Instagram or talking about gear.
Somebody has to stop you from getting your 7th 35mm lens, but this one has wide aperture.
So I want to hear from you. How have you cultivated a photography friendship or connection? And what do you struggle with the most? I'd like to hear from you.